What's good, everybody? My name is Gentleman Jug,
And I'm Son.
and welcome back to the Gentleman Juggcast, episode 37. How you doing today, boy?
I'm doing great.
Good. Uh, I know that we're about to talk about a new movie this week. What's that movie gonna be, boy? You got a problem?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man Trace. So we will get into talking about this movie. But first, what are we talking about this week, boy?
World Wrestling.
World Wrestling. Now, I haven't watched a whole lot of wrestling this week. I left that to you. So take me there, son.
Well, I'll take you to Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
So basically, we had a steel cage match with
Okay.
Big E because he loves those. Every time someone messes with him, he's like, "Let's go in a steel cage, keep everyone out. I'm gonna beat you up," and that's what he did to KO. And well, he didn't pin him like he did to Bobby Lashley. He was just fighting him, and they were about to climb out, and then Seth Rollins comes out, of course, and distracts Kevin. So then Kevin gets thrown to the ground. Then Big E climbs out the door, and he wins. And then he gets attacked by Seth Rollins.
I mean, they're supposed to be all enemies, all three of them together anyway. So, I mean, what's the deal here? There's no problem here. I like it.
Yeah. So after they're done beating each other, and I think it's Big E gets like the upper hand or something, and he knocks them both out, Kevin Owens and Seth. Out of nowhere, Bobby Lashley shows up and he beats up all three of them.
I swear, I have a strong feeling that it's going to be a fatal four-way.
Yeah.
I have a strong feeling they're going to be like, hey, let's add Bobby Lashley to this.
I'm like, okay.
Which, look, I don't have a problem with that. The more the merrier for me. I like when matches, everybody's trying to go for one thing.
Just my problem is that two people aren't supposed to be here.
Yeah, and Seth should be upset. He should be pissed off.
He'll be even more mad.
Yeah. Every single time I turn around, you got another asshole out here who jumps into my freaking match. And if anybody has a case on why they should have their own freaking match, it should be Seth.
Yeah. It's just happened too many times to him.
Yeah. Like every time I come in here, he's the only person who really has a legitimate gripe. I went out there, I was in the match, I beat everybody's ass, I got the contract. It was told that I could have my match for day one. And then every time I turn around, some other asshole keeps getting involved. And now watch, I bet Bobby Lashley gets involved.
Yep.
I bet that's exactly how it goes down.
Because there's like a few weeks left before day one.
There's actually a lot of time left before day one.
So it's like time for what they should do now is, oh no, Bobby Lashley provokes Seth.
Probably. There'll probably be some shit right there. Or, Big E provokes Bobby Lashley. I don't know.
Maybe Bobby Lashley provokes Big E. I'll be like, no, Big E, no.
I mean, it's really looking like Seth Rollins is the one who's really getting the short end of the stick, and he deserves to be angry. So
I just agree with him in this. I'm like, I don't think he's gonna win, but if he has like the closest chance to winning,
I don't know. It's one of those situations where I don't know what's gonna happen, and I like it.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like it seems like he might win, but it could also be Big E. I don't think Kevin Owens is gonna win.
No, I don't think Kevin Owens will win either, but I don't know who's going to win. I don't know. And that's what I like. I don't want to sit there and be able to speculate and guess. I want to just see shit happen because, when you can kind of see what's going down, like Roman Reigns is starting to get a little stale.
Yeah.
And the main reason is because
we can see
what's going to happen.
So it's like
his best matches are when we were like, did you really think that this guy was going to win? And he might, but they've been talking about this whole entire time. I noticed a thing that whenever somebody sits there and talks about how long a person has held a belt,
yeah,
they usually break a record for how long they hold that belt.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're not going to have Roman Reigns not be champion for longer than Brock.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to do. So that way he can sit there and say he was the longest champion that's ever held that championship belt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 2 years is a long time, but he's been there. So, but yeah, keep going.
Then we had, of course, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And shocker, Becky Lynch won. I was shocked. I was like, I really thought Liv had this.
I mean, didn't we say last week? We said this last week. Does anybody really think that Becky Lynch is going to lose on Monday Night Raw?
No.
How often does that happen?
Never.
It really only happens on Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
If somebody's cashing in, that's usually when it happens. But yeah.
Or unless you're Randy Orton fighting Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, then you can have a match whenever you want, but whatever.
And then there's also, she won, of course, by, grabbing the ropes and cheating. And yeah. And what's weird to me is that she was getting booed, but I didn't see anyone making any noise, like, at all. So I'm like, is that piped in noise? Because they're not moving. They look like they're giving her a thumbs up. They're like cheering.
I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you on that one. WWE does a lot of shady shit.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, during their entrances, there was like boos and like so many cheers for Liv Morgan, but I didn't see anyone moving. I just saw them sitting there quiet.
I don't know.
It's like they're not moving. They're just sitting there. It's like I'm looking at the crowd, and they're not saying anything. So like, it must be weird if like you're just there in the crowd and you don't see anyone cheering, but you just still hear cheers and like, what is going on?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like we don't know that they can't do it. They did it a whole year last year for the Performance Center, or the Thunderdome.
And then we caught them that one time they tried to do it to Drew McIntyre when they had crowds, and you heard John Cena 16 times.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they can't do it. They have priors, so I'm not worried about it.
And then I guess that's and then RK Bro, they were doing stuff. They had the RK Bro gauntlet match where they had teams fight for who should fight them, and Riddle even put on like a suit, and so did Randy. And they were Then Randy said, "All right, I'm done. You wear both suits now, Riddle. I'm done here." And then we never saw him for the rest of the show.
I mean, I guess they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with them now. I mean, I'm not bothered by it. It doesn't bother me at all.
And, of course, we had the first sign that AJ Styles and Omos are going to break up because they lost their match because Omos got counted out.
Well, I mean, that's on Omos, right?
Yeah. And then AJ's like, come on, man, you just got to listen to me. And Omos, of course, walks away. And then Riddle is like, so, AJ, it looks like you guys are breaking up.
Oh, well, I mean, AJ Styles should stop being fucking tag team anything.
I thought it's like
he's more of a WWE championship guy.
It's like he should go after Big E.
Yeah. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't need AJ Styles to freaking be in a tag team with somebody who's, I think, is never going to, let's see. I don't want to say he's never going to be a championship. As long as Vince McMahon's alive, Omos is in the championship picture because of how big he is.
Yeah.
I've never seen this dude lose. Like, nobody's ever pinned him to the ground.
Yeah.
He's always been the big guy who freaking throws people around. And the only reason why they lose is because either he's dumb or AJ Styles gets pinned.
Yeah. See, for me, it seems like it's funny how AJ Styles went from being the guy to have his Undertaker's last match to now being the guy who's just in tag teams.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really need, to get himself over. The fans love him regardless.
Yeah, but I just want to see him at least fight a champion.
Well, I'm pretty sure he will get to. I mean, remember Edge name dropped him a while back, so
yeah, you could see them fight after he's done with. And then, of course, speaking of Edge, him and Miz, he had their segment, and I mean, Miz said, "I'm not scared of you, Edge." So Edge tried, he faked him out with a punch, and Miz fell to the ground, and Edge is like, "Not scared, huh?"
I am interested in seeing Edge and Miz fight. I'm pretty sure it'll be a pretty good match. They're both good wrestlers. So,
I think Edge will win, I'm sure.
I mean, he would have to get a handful of wins, right, to at least even attempt to challenge for any championship, right? Because that's what this is all about. He wants to be a champion again, right?
Yeah.
That's why we were fighting Roman Reigns. That's why we were fighting, Randy Orton and so on and so forth. He wants to be champion again.
I wonder if they'll like when he fights Big E, they'll make him like a heel again when he fights Big E. I wonder if they're gonna do that.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Like he'd be like, I'm a radar superstar again when he fights Big E.
I wouldn't pretend to know. I'm a fan more of like I think AEW kind of does this more, where like he's not a face or a heel. He just is. He
Yeah.
might do bad things. He might do good things, but he just is.
Yeah.
I think that right there is a definite thing. I don't hate faces or heels. I like them both just fine, depending on who does it. But
You also need just some characters.
some people who are just there.
Yeah.
You can't really. They don't have a problem, doing bad things, but they also have a problem being good guys. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was a face, but he did heel things.
And then yeah.
So I'm just saying, I mean, he would Stone Cold Stunner literally everybody, just like Randy Orton would do. He'd freaking RKO anybody, as a face and as a heel.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Let's see what else happened on Raw. Well, that's it. So now on to SmackDown. So speaking of Roman Reigns, he's not here. Paul Heyman said he's not here because he's in Samoa in a sabbatical training to fight Brock Lesnar at day 1.
Okay, then I better see Roman Reigns come back cut to death.
What if he comes back with no muscle?
He comes back fatter and shit. Like, training? What the fuck were you doing?
He's like, oh. Well, when you think about it, now Brock Lesnar can't suplex me because I'm super heavy now.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. I've seen him suplex Big Show.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen him suplex everybody, really. Yeah, that's not true at all.
Let's see. So, obviously Sami Zayn is out there and he's in a wheelchair like The Miz. Because he got injured by Brock Lesnar.
Well, but yeah, his is more legitimate though, because Brock Lesnar did F5 him like twice and then suplexed him like 3 times, and then Roman Reigns came out and speared him in half. So
yeah, but
maybe he is hurt.
Yeah, but Miz got attacked by zombies. You can't beat zombies.
Yeah, the zombies got him. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Yeah, so he's like in a wheelchair. He's got 2 doctors next to him, and he's like, "These doctors are here to make sure that my blood pressure stays normal."
Because they didn't. What is he talking about here? That fucking. I mean, look, it's part of the character.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not complaining. It's part of the character.
And then Paul Heyman's in the ring, and Sammy's like, "You shouldn't have come alone, Paul. There's no Roman here, no Usos, even though the Usos are on the show, but they weren't here to help Paul." He's like, "Who can save you now?" And of course, Brock Lesnar comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Paul Heyman, he comes out of the ring. He's like, "Look, it's Brock Lesnar." And he says the thing he always says about Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar attacks everybody and beats up Sammy. And then he leaves.
I mean, in my opinion, the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns thing is not doing it for me.
Yeah. And then
because I just don't see Brock Lesnar winning.
No,
I don't see it at all. When day 1 comes up in a couple of weeks, Brock Lesnar will not be champion, and I'm okay with being surprised, but I just don't see it.
And then, of course, he's backstage, and they ask him. So I guess they ask him, why did you save Paul Heyman? And he's like, "Ask my advocate, Paul Heyman." And guess what? They didn't ask him.
I mean, look, the thing is that with the Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar thing, it's not as compelling as it used to be to me.
When we first started, it was pretty
good. Yeah, because like I was like, oh shit, what could actually happen? And I was actually, excited, like what could go down. But it's like
now it's like even if Paul Heyman betrays him, Roman Reigns is not losing the Universal Champion.
That's what I'm seeing. I don't see that happening at all. Even if Paul Heyman betrays him, Roman Reigns will not lose.
I mean, Roman Reigns at the point where he doesn't really need him anymore.
And the last thing I want is Roman Reigns to freaking turn face over this.
Better not turn face.
Because he's really good as a heel.
What if he comes back from his Samoa sabbatical with his vest? "I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy."
I don't know. I think I'd probably just turn it off.
Oh,
Just be like, you ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.
Yeah, and then of course Brock Lesnar, he actually meets up with Adam Pearce backstage, and he's like, "Don't worry, Adam. I'm so happy you suspended me. I got time to, hunt some animals. I hunted this one bull in the woods." And he's like, "Guess what I named it? Adam Pearce."
I mean, I guess as Adam Pearce, you just keep a gun on you, right?
Yeah, and then
But look, Brock, I don't give a fuck who the hell you think you are. You fucked with me, and you fucked with the wrong person. If you fuck with me again, there's gonna be problems.
and Brock's like, "Let me show you a picture," and he pulls out his flip phone.
Flip phone.
That's what he pulled out a flip phone. He's like, "See this picture?" He's like, "Ah, man, I hate it. I got blood all over the camera," and he rips his phone.
That's why he had a flip phone, so he could break the camera.
And then he leaves. And then, Drew McIntyre shows up there too. I mean, he doesn't talk to Brock, but he just shows up next to Adam Pearce after Brock Lesnar's done scaring him. And then he's like, "So how come I wasn't the black?" He's like, You told me I wasn't in the, Black Friday Battle Royale." And he's like, "Yeah, that doesn't matter. You have a match against Sheamus tonight. You can't bring your sword with you because that was dangerous on the Black Friday Battle Royale." So Drew's like, "Okay." And he puts his sword through the table.
I mean, if I'm Drew McIntyre, I'm upset.
Yeah.
I was WWE champion last year for like most of the year, and then whatever circumstances happened, I didn't become champion again after that. Bobby Lashley took over, and then you guys said I couldn't challenge him anymore, and now here we are to sitting there and freaking trying to become part of the Battle Royale, and I wasn't even entered in the damn thing.
Yeah.
Why? Am I not championship caliber in your opinion? So of course he has questions, and it seems like if the meaner you are, the more likely you can get in there. But
It's like, "Nah, you just got to fight Sheamus." It's like, okay.
I mean, I've seen that fight, and I'm not against it.
I mean, they fought, and you know who won. It was Drew.
Yeah, of course it was Drew. Of course it was Drew. I mean, that's not shocking.
I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it.
What would be shocking is if Sheamus won.
Yeah.
That would be shocking. Be like, oh shit, Sheamus beat fucking Drew. I guess you need to start all over again.
Yeah. But yeah, Drew won, so. And then obviously we had Sonya Deville fight Naomi on SmackDown.
How'd that go?
It's fine. I mean, they didn't really fight. She called for backup, and they had a tag team match and stuff, and yeah.
Did Sonya Deville even talk about why she's upset with Naomi?
Well, of course not.
So, I mean, I really don't care. This is just adding more and more fucking shit to it. And it's just like, okay, look, I'm a fan of long-term storytelling, but every fucking week it has to be freaking compelling. When Roman Reigns became Universal Champion, I tuned in like I had over the years when I was a kid watching the Attitude Era. I tuned in because I wanted to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point now where it's like, I've gotten bored with it.
It's like,
so it's the same thing here. Like, I wanted to see what was going to happen between, Naomi and Sonya Deville. I want to know what's going on. Why are they doing it? It just feels like they wrote themselves into a corner and have no real reason why these two women are fighting.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week. Maybe day one, when they finally figure out what the hell script to give Sonya Deville on why she's upset with Naomi.
Yeah, but that's and then I guess let's see what else happened on here. Well, that's really it.
No Charlotte and whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah, they were there, but I didn't really pay attention. I was like, yeah, no, cool.
I mean, look, women's wrestling and WWE is not. The wrestling is great, but they just don't seem to really care about the storylines that much.
When they have a good storyline, it's good, but
yeah, it'll be like the main event, of that show or even of the pay-per-view or whatever. But when they have a shitty story, it's usually the first or somewhere in the middle where you completely forget about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe someday Bayley will come back and maybe might shake things up again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Seeing as how Sasha Banks is on there, maybe Bayley will show up there. If they were smart, they'd freaking have, Bianca Belair freaking fight uh, Becky Lynch, become champion again, and then right then freaking have Bailey show up.
Yeah, it's like, we never got
It's
our
like, we
fun.
never got our freaking fight for the title, so let me get in there. That's if they were smart, but we know how WWE is.
Most likely, Becky Lynch will keep the title and then go to WrestleMania and then like beat Bianca, and then we get Hugger Bailey back to fight Becky Lynch.
I know. I really prefer Bailey to freaking be a heel. She's better at it. It's like her, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair. They're better as heels.
I guess Becky Lynch is the only one who's better as a face.
Well, I liked Becky Lynch when she first became the man. She was a heel.
Yeah.
And I thought that she was dope then. But then, like, sometimes the stick freaking goes too far in one direction and it's not interesting anymore. I think her best time was when she got her nose broken by Nia Jax.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense. Alexa Bliss is better as a heel, but not as this fucking Harley Quinn clown character she is.
Oh, she's still not back yet.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
She has to come back with a new doll.
Yeah, I mean, like, I liked Edge as a heel way back in the day, like in the Ruthless Aggression era. Randy Orton's better as a heel. To me, I like Sami Zayn as a heel, but I also like him as a face too. I like Seth Rollins as a heel. I like most of these people as a heel.
I like Roman Reigns as a heel.
Big E to me was always better as a face, and so was the rest of the New Day. They were always better as a face. But then you got The Miz as a heel. He's better. You got Dolph Ziggler as a heel. He's better. Bobby Roode's a heel. He's better.
Bobby Lashley.
I can't recall ever seeing Rey Mysterio as a heel. I don't recall ever seeing that.
Well,
what the fuck ever happened to that? Wasn't Rey supposed to fight his son?
Oh, no. They had a tag team match on Raw. I mean, they were fighting Lashley, but Lashley doesn't want to deal with them. He wants to fight Big E now, so he attacks them. But they get to have it. They were trying to do their story where they're going to break up, but instead they're like, let's just have another tag team match. We're not breaking up yet. Come on. I think when I watched like Raw and SmackDown, something I keep noticing is that, like, I guess for the women, they barely have any like faces. Most of them are heel. They have like maybe 3 to 4 faces, but the rest are all heels.
Look, heels are more interesting. It just are, but I mean, not everybody can be Drew McIntyre and be a good freaking face.
He's like, I guess he's is it safe to say he's like the best face?
Well, probably
right
the
now.
Best face right now. Yeah, right now.
Right now, he's the best face.
I don't really know who the best heel is because, heels are meant to be good.
Well, I guess
as being heels, but it's just irritating to me.
It's like, I guess we need another person who can be a good face like Drew.
I guess, I mean, they all say the same thing. They all read from the same fucking script. I do all this for the people. I'm pushing myself to be stronger than I've ever been because this is my time and blah, 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 blah. I hear the same fucking thing. I mean, it's not like the heels don't say anything different. I'm the best there is, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I dominate every single person, and I say all kinds of shit. It's the same fucking... They read it from the same script. It's just that the heels are more compelling when they first become a heel.
It's funny that one thing I noticed with like most heel turns I see now, they're like, it's like, I hate you people.
Yeah.
It's you people.
You guys never freaking believed in me and blah, 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 blah. It's the same bullshit, and I'll watch it until it gets boring to me.
Yeah.
And right now Roman Reigns is at that point where I'm kind of getting bored. So
it's like, I need something new.
I need something else. Look, I know that you're smashing everybody and you're gonna beat them and so on and so forth, and you're the head of the table, but I need more. I need new shit now. You've been saying the same shtick for about 2 years now.
That's right.
So
smash more people.
Yeah, I done beat everybody. There's no one else, and I'm so great and this and that. At least when Brock Lesnar was there, he just was not there. So I mean, yeah, I got tired of it, but I mean, he wasn't there to sit there and freaking get boring. It was boring that he wasn't there.
Yeah, you're like, get on the show.
But whatever.
I think maybe like after Brock, Roman versus Drew, they could make that good. Maybe.
I wouldn't hate it.
Be like I mean, they could always talk about the fact that they fought at Survivor Series. They could continue that, I guess.
I wouldn't hate it.
See, my thing is, I still don't know who can beat Roman.
I mean, it'll be those who are in contract with WWE for an extended period of time.
So I guess for me, like,
That's who beats Roman Reigns.
For me, it looks like maybe Drew could be the one.
Well, if he continues having that extended contract, I mean, it's signs are pointing to that The Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania.
So maybe.
So it might be Drew.
That's why I'm like, that's why he's got to do stuff like just fight random people while he's waiting for Roman Reigns to get done with Brock.
That's the deal. That's what it seems like. And then is he going to win? Who knows?
I mean, if not, then I guess no one else can. So I'm just guessing that maybe he's like the one guy. I guess it would make sense to me for him to win because he still needs his moment in front of the fans. So
I mean, why is he not on? Is he not getting cheers?
Well, I mean, maybe they're piped in, maybe they're
not. I mean, he's getting cheers. Everybody's been saying that he needs to get his moment with the fans. I'm like, as what? As champion? I mean, he's getting cheers. He comes out, they cheer the shit out of him. He holds his sword in the air, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want?
They wanted to win every single title. They're like, he's got to win the NXT title, the WWE champion, the Universal champion, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's got to carry like 3 swords.
I'd be interested to see that, but that's not what's going down.
No.
What else you got for me, boy?
Oh, I actually watched a little bit of NXT 2.0, and I saw that there's actually a third Uso there.
Okay.
I think his name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Solo Sikoa. He's the street champion from the islands. At least that's what he says.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but if he's in the wrestling business, there's only a matter of time before he shows up, with the Usos.
And maybe he could fight Roman.
Yeah. And get his ass whipped like the other Usos.
Yeah, get us another let Roman beat up another Uso.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I do know is that I mean, he talks about the Usos, but it seems like he hates them. Because he's like,
obviously they don't know because they don't watch the fucking show. They don't watch NXT, so they're like me. They don't watch the fucking show.
It's like, I don't watch the show.
No, well, when we come back, we're gonna get into this movie. So see you in a second. And we're back. And we got a movie to talk about. What's the movie, son?
Spider-Man 3.
Good. Spider-Man 3. So this movie came out in the year 2007. What were you doing, boy? Being 3 years old?
Yes. Great time. I remember everything that happened during the time I was 3.
Yep. And I got to be honest with you, boy. When this movie was coming out at the time, when it was still like on the horizon of like, oh shit, we're about to see Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3, boy. Spider-Man 3.
Venom.
All right. I was all about it. I was hyped. I was in it. I was like, yes, this is what shit's about to go down.
See, it's funny that this movie's might have been the first time I saw Venom.
Like ever?
I saw this, and then thank gosh you showed me the animated series, because I'm like, oh, okay, that's the real Venom.
That's the real Venom, or at least that's the closer to the truth. So, look, we're going to get into this movie right now. Okay, so this movie kicks off with happy Peter Parker being played by Tobey Maguire again, and he's living a happy life, and I guess the narration never got old because they are still doing it.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you, son, look, I was still in it at this point in time. All right, I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. Okay. Now, we saw Spider-Man at the very beginning of the movie, but we hadn't really officially seen Spider-Man doing things, right?
You just saw him on a TV screen.
We just saw him on a TV screen, That could have been from any movie. I mean, it obviously was from number 3, but it could have been from any movie of him doing that. But whatever. So we see that things are going well in his life. He's happy Spider-Man around in this movie. And we also see Harry Osborn, who's being played by James Franco, is still pissed at Spidey. So there is that. I mean, does anyone not know that Spider-Man at this point is going to get the black suit? I mean, it's in all the promotions up to this point, right?
Well, there's that one. There's always that one person. What is that? Is that thing from the trailer? I didn't think it was actually going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just we know what's going on. I mean, we can see that from the last movie, Spider-Man 2, that Harry Osborn is going to be pissed off and try to want to kill Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so mad he goes to a play.
Yeah, he's so mad he goes to a play to see Peter looking at Mary Jane while she's performing.
He watches angrily.
Yeah, just mad in the shadows.
He's like,
yeah. So, next scene, Harry Osborn is seen taking the Green Goblin formula, and I asked you while we were watching the movie, when did he learn how to do this?
Off screen.
Yeah, somewhere off screen, he learned how to do this off screen. And that's just like, what the hell?
I don't know why.
Has Harry ever been known to be a smart person?
Not in this movie.
No, not in any of the movies. He's already said, he's like, I don't science. That's what he basically said. So I don't know when he got super smart or a brainiac smart, but he figured it out, and so he's now got Green Goblin powers.
I don't know. I guess revenge really made him smart.
But he also didn't go insane like his dad did.
Well, see. Well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. That's true.
I mean, it's like, what happened, Harry? Okay. You sat here and you watched your dad, become the Green Goblin. There's no way in the world you didn't sit there and see him almost kill your girlfriend at the time in the first movie, terrorize the whole city in that first movie, and Spider-Man stopped him. And then you find out at the end, he's your dad, and your dad is dead. Okay? I get that. I'm not saying that this is the wrong thing. What I'm saying is that you saw what your dad was doing. And Harry Osborn is inherently not a bad person.
Yeah.
He didn't terrorize anybody but Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where the Green Goblin was willing to kill a bus full of children, Harry Osborn wasn't doing that.
He's like, I just want to kill Spider-Man.
Yeah. So what is the deal here?
What's going on, Harry? It's getting a little hairy.
Okay. So I was just venting a little bit. This movie's kind of got me. All right.
Venom.
Yeah. Filling me with venom. Yeah. So, look, we see Peter Parker and Mary Jane doing their love exposition times. And look, it's still boring, but I guess we need it to tell the story.
Expo.
Yeah. And then he tells Aunt May he's going to marry Mary Jane. And then we hear another fucking story about her and Uncle Ben, which, look.
Ben Richard.
I'm fine with it. It's just I don't really care.
Uncle
it was
Ben.
Just boring to me.
Uncle Ben's rice.
Yeah. So Sandman, who's being played by Thomas Hayden Church this time, is shown escaping from prison and visiting his daughter. I guess she's sick and she needs medical attention.
And
okay,
we see him, get his famous shirt, I guess.
Yeah, he just puts on a shirt and then goes and gets some bread, and then he leaves because the police are showing up. I don't know how the mom knew that, just because lights are flashing them, even they're coming for you, but whatever.
Like, what'd you do?
Yeah. So she gives him a locket and he leaves. So around the 16-minute mark of the movie, Harry comes in and he just bum rushes Peter Parker. And I thought this was a cool action scene. His aunt gave him Peter's aunt gave him a wedding ring so he could ask Mary Jane to marry him. And, it's like a little cat and mouse thing of him trying to get the ring and keep the ring, all while trying to fight Green Goblin and so on and so forth. But the end result is that Harry Osborn ends up getting like clotheslined by a spider web.
Clothesline.
Yeah, and then getting knocked the fuck out.
I was like Michael Cole. Clothesline from the top rope.
He was from the top rope too, because he went down hard. And it was cool. I liked it. I remember seeing this movie in theaters, and I remember people sitting there freaking like, "Oh shit, he got hurt." Well, it turns out that whole entire that tumble that he did from however high he was, put him in the hospital, and he lost his memory.
Da-da-da.
Yeah.
So now he's not evil anymore.
Yeah, for a while. So, meanwhile, Sandman becomes Sandman.
I just think it's funny how he became him. He's running from the police in the sand field. Then he falls into their experiment. They're like, "Oh, it's just a bird in there." It's like, could you check to make sure it's just a bird in there?
It'll
fly away.
I'm about to rant again. Okay? Because Sandman becomes Sandman because of this experiment in New York City that they're doing for sand reasons. I don't know what the experiment is supposed to be about, but they're testing with sand. Then all of a sudden, a sand guy shows up who's controlling sand. And then they don't go back to the place and say, "Hey, listen, fucking,
what were you doing?
What were you doing that created this guy? Okay? You guys were fucking with sand, and now we have a sand guy who's robbing banks."
Now they're just like, where did the Sandman come from? It couldn't.
Nothing.
It's like, could have come from the sand.
The comics make more sense. Okay? When Sandman was first introduced in comics, he was like actually on like a nuclear test site, and or a radioactive test site, and then something blew up and he freaking got sand particles all in him. Now it wasn't like, like they were doing a sand experiment.
Why were they doing a sand experiment?
Okay. It wasn't like that at all. He just was in an area, something blew up, and then he's Sandman. That's it. And then you could be like, where the fuck did he come from? What happened with this? And blah, blah, blah. But this right here, they're doing a sand experiment in this fucking place, and nobody says shit to the police, FBI, anybody.
Just like, oh, where could this guy have come from?
Yeah. What happened? I don't care. It just irritated me. So, yes, he's Sandman. Okay. So,
or as they call him, Marco.
Yeah, they don't even call him Sandman. They just call him Marco.
Marco.
Which, irritates the hell out of me. Call the fucking guy Sandman. That's his fucking name.
Or if you're going to call him Marco, have someone say Polo.
What? Don't be stupid. So
you can always call his daughter Polo.
Right? Why didn't they missed it? They missed a chance. He could have. Where's Polo? Oh, well, Polo Marco. Look, I wouldn't have complained. I appreciate that. I don't recall him having any kids in the comics, but he has one here. So, hey. Whatever. Yeah. So, Mary Jane's having a bad day or something. I don't really care. She won't listen to reason. When her boyfriend Peter is trying to cheer her up. Look, I understand. If you're upset and you just want to be upset, it's hard for somebody to cheer you up. I get it. But she's treating him like a piece of shit. Right?
Yep.
So, whatever. 30 minutes later, we finally see Spider-Man.
In costume.
I'm
like, wow. That took a while.
Yeah. It's a second action sequence, and it's kind of I thought it was pretty cool. Spider-Man saving Gwen Stacy, who's being played by Bryce Dallas Howard at this time. She's not the main love interest because she shouldn't be. It's always been about Mary Jane in these movies, and so I think they're going to keep that. But
unless you watch Amazing Spider-Man,
yeah, that's a different can of worms. That's a whole different bag of dicks. So
whole different web.
Yeah. So look. Enter Eddie Brock, who's being played by Topher Grace. Topher Grace had 10 seconds to show me why he deserves to play Eddie Brock / Venom. And he blew it. For me, he blew it.
I mean, there's another Eddie Brock out there too, but I guess none of them are really that great.
Look, I was just irritated with that. I didn't like his portrayal in the first place. So Eddie Brock, he wants to get a staff job at the Bugle. So he and Peter Parker have a competition to catch Spider-Man doing something illegal. Now, another issue I have with this movie, I'm not going to rant so hard, but hopefully it doesn't go there. But why the fuck would J. Jonah Jameson take this new guy who got one random picture of Spider-Man and say, both of you guys can compete for a staff job? That's an asshole move to do. Okay? Peter Parker's been busting his ass off, working freelance, showing pictures of Spider-Man, and all that shit that it comes with. And yet, this asshole, this new clown, can fucking just come in here, show one picture, and he gets the fucking opportunity?
I'm like, okay.
That's a piece of shit move, Jameson. Jameson. So whatever. The next scene is Spider-Man is going to get a key to the city. Now, of course, Peter Parker's kind of tooting his own horn. He's feeling real good about himself and shit like that. I'm doing good things.
Yeah.
And Mary Jane is, of course, feeling bad. So we later see that Harry and Peter Parker are starting to become friends again. And during this time, Sandman, when Peter Parker's getting the key to the city, Sandman starts doing Sandman things. Look, I'm not upset with that. I mean, as far as Sandman goes, he could put on something different. I guess he couldn't because it's part of him. But, he starts walking around. 2 cops freaking recognize him and they start chasing him, right?
Yeah.
So they chase him. He manages to find, a sand truck.
I was like, okay.
It's a random sand truck in the middle of the street.
He
ran over there, and you're like, sand truck? Okay.
It's like, got lucky.
Yeah. And so a sandstorm freaking happens, and he just flies away. So while this is going on, Spider-Man's getting his key to the city, and Mary Jane's kind of by herself. He comes over, he swings in, he gets ready to get the key to the city, and people are celebrating him, and he kisses Gwen Stacy. Upside down.
But why?
Yeah, but why?
Like, why?
There was no reason for him to do that. However, did you forget that you invited your girlfriend to be here?
It's okay, I'm a superhero.
Yeah, that's a piece of shit move, Spider-Man.
What are you doing?
You're an asshole.
Like, you're not even Venom yet.
It's like you're cheating on Mary Jane right in front of her. You invited her to do that. And she is justifiably angry. Right? She should be angry.
I'm like, why? When I watch that, I'm like, why?
I don't know. So, also at the same time, Mary Jane is also being a bitch because she's flirting with Harry Osborn at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So
really, both of them suck.
Nobody's redeemable here.
So they both suck.
Okay, so, look, Sandman comes in and starts Sandmanning, and Spider-Man comes in and he fights him, and it's not a bad fight scene. I like it. Okay. So we cut to another scene where Peter has invited Mary Jane to a fancy restaurant so that he could propose to her, and it all goes bad. It's exposition stuff, and I don't really give a shit.
And the only thing I thought is like, it's only funny because they have these 2 guys running back and forth over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb and I don't care. Okay. So finally, after what seems like fucking 20 hours, the movie starts to get going when the police finally freaking bring Peter Parker and Aunt May into the police station, telling him that Flint Marko, the Sandman, is actually the guy that killed Uncle Ben, not this other guy. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know why, like, this movie takes place 2 years after he got bitten by a spider.
So they never told him until
the entire time he didn't know,
But now he knows.
Like,
great.
So of course he's pissed off, and justifiably so. Everybody keeps telling him, hey, look, you need to calm down. He's like, fuck you. I'm not calming down.
Yeah.
I don't need to. So he's at home just hanging around, and MJ tries to console him. And Peter's being a little bitch right now, right?
Yeah.
And now she's sitting here getting an attitude with him for having gotten an attitude with her. And I'm like, bitch, didn't he just sit there and fucking try to console you like a day ago, and you were sitting there just not having it? Can he not have it too? Can he not be pissed off also? Fucking bitch. But whatever. So she leaves. He freaking lays down in bed while waiting for, to find out some information about the Sandman. And he gets hit with the black ooze finally.
And he turns heel.
Yeah, he turns heel. Heel Spider-Man.
Heel Spider-Man.
Yeah. And his suit turns black, and I don't like the suit at all.
I don't like the suit, but I'm gonna be honest, I like everything else about him being when he's like, evil Spider-Man, but I don't like the suit, but I like everything else.
Why do you like everything else?
I don't know. It's funny.
I like the suit more than everything else. But I don't like the suit. So
I like everything else that he does is evil, but I don't like the suit. I don't know. It's just because it's just funny to me. It's fun. It's funny to laugh at. That's probably why I like it, because I can just laugh at it.
I guess. I don't know. Why couldn't the black suit look like the suit in the comics?
That's
Sandman looks pretty close to the comics. Doc Ock looked pretty close to the comics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know Green Goblin didn't. But I mean, still, seriously, it just I didn't like this look. I remember seeing the suit in all the promotions, and I was like, maybe it's just dark. But no, that's the color. The suit is supposed to be black and white, and I did not like it.
One thing I do like, though, is I do like how now when he swings, it's all aggressive and stuff.
Yeah, he's hunched over, aggressive. He flips aggressively.
He's heel.
It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And maybe it would look better if it had a cooler suit, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Spider-Man gets to fight I skipped ahead. So about an hour in a movie, and this is an hour into the movie, and it feels so long.
Yeah.
It's like, why? There's like nothing is compelling in between this. This is not like the last Spider-Man movie. There's just too much shit here. There's too much. It's too busy. This is too much. So now Spider-Man gets to fight Sandman, and once again, I like it. The fight scenes are way too fucking short.
Yeah.
Okay. And Spider-Man does a bad thing to Eddie Brock or whatever, and he breaks his camera. That
was funny to me.
Yeah. So after Spider-Man defeats, Sandman, he honestly understand Spider-Man thinks he killed him.
Yeah.
That he's dead.
He's like, I killed him.
I killed him. Right?
Yeah.
We don't even explore it. It just goes on the next day, just like, all right, I'm good.
He's like, nah.
That was it. So
black suit.
Yeah, he's doing all these things where people are sitting there saying that he's emo. Yeah, an emotional asshole or whatever. So I'm kind of like going through this super fast. There's exposition. Peter's mad, and then Mary Jane's cheating with Harry, and Peter's mad again. It gets under my skin. I don't care. There's so much I just don't care, because none of this is compelling. None of this works.
I just like when he said, "You're trash, Brock."
You're trash, Brock. Yeah, he said that after he freaking gets him fired, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Mary Jane, I'm sorry, so Harry, after Mary Jane leaves his house because they were cheating, I guess, he takes a drink because he's upset, and then all of a sudden, it all comes back to him.
He's like, oh, yeah, my memory's back.
Yeah, now I was Green Goblin and I hated Spider-Man. That's right. So Mary Jane comes home and immediately gets attacked by Harry Osborn.
It's like, hi again.
I was like, I just left your house. Yeah, now I'm here to fucking beat the fuck out of you. Okay. So Green Goblin, Gobby Jr. has a plan. he's going to make Mary Jane break up with Peter Parker to break his heart. I could care less.
I mean, you could have just killed him. You had him at the bridge. He wasn't even Spider-Man. He never would have expected it if he just blew up the bridge that he's on it.
Anything.
But that's what smart villains do.
But whatever.
And this guy's like, yeah, I made them break up. I'm evil. My plan worked. I broke his heart.
Yeah, so like I say, Harry Osborn is he's told Mary Jane to break up with Peter, but I mean, when you look at the movie this far, wasn't that already in the back of her head?
Yeah.
It seemed like she was going to want to break up with him anyways.
Yeah.
And so she did. And then we get another Spider-Man crying scene. He's cried in every fucking movie. And here he is doing it again. Whatever. So Harry is having lunch, I guess, with Peter. And then, I wrote down this. Harry finally tells Peter that he's a heel again. And my God, there's so much here taking place and it's so boring. Why is this plot so complicated? So, I like you say, Peter Parker gets Brock fired, and I guess that means that Peter Parker is even more of a heel.
Boo.
Yeah. So heel Harry tells heel Peter that he's cheating with MJ, and they go fight at his house. And I guess the only cool thing about this fight, because this really isn't a good fight to me.
No.
The only cool thing is that Harry throws a grenade at Peter, and Peter throws it back. I thought that was kind of cool.
And he just walks away like nothing happened.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So now Peter's acting even more emo. This is the stuff that everybody fucking really hates about this movie.
Oh, I like it because it's funny.
I didn't think it was funny at all, but the scene, it's goofy, and we've all seen it, and it's just ridiculous. It's dumb. So, as it stands, Peter Parker believes now that he has killed Sandman and that he has killed
Goblin
Harry
Jr.
Osborn. Yeah. Like, I think I've killed them both, right?
Yeah. So I guess, yeah. And of course, he does his dance and stuff. And what I said is, like, since Seth Rollins wears suits, he should do this dance like once.
Like, do a Peter Parker dance scene?
Yeah, like once. And then never do it again.
I mean, he could do it. I wouldn't complain. I'd laugh. I'm like, that's funny. So
maybe you could do it at day one.
Yeah, maybe. So look, Sandman comes back to life, and if I'm Sandman, I gotta be thinking, so I'm indestructible, right?
Yeah.
I thought that I was gonna die, and I'm not dead.
Nope.
And seeing as how Peter and Mary Jane have broken up, I guess that leaves Peter to go on a date with Gwen Stacy.
Yep.
So
we get this amazing scene that we all care about.
The first thing Peter says is we can't see, like, a girl, like his Gwen Stacy says, I don't think we can find a seat. So Peter looks at this girl and says, hey, find us some shade. And he gives her like $10. And he's like, thanks, hot legs. And then I'm like, okay.
All right.
Like, how much of a creep can you be in 5 seconds?
He's such a heel.
Yeah. Whatever. So Mary Jane starts to sing, and Peter starts freaking playing the piano, then dancing. It looks stupid.
Yeah.
I'm so done with this movie. And I think there's 40 minutes left of this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so
at least he didn't hop into a crab tank.
Yeah, right.
A lobster tank and start eating the lobsters.
Yeah, well, it's still dumb, but hijinks happen after that freaking dance, and Peter Parker ends up somehow backhanding Mary Jane, smacking her to the floor. And then you realize it's the suit, man. Instead of opening your mouth and saying words, dude, I think it's this suit that I'm wearing. He just says, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. So he leaves and goes to a church for whatever reason. I mean, We don't know that the symbiote is
Weakened by sound.
is weakened by sound at this time. I mean, if you read the comics, you know, but we don't know that.
I guess he goes to a church. He's like, I'm gonna need God's help to get rid of this.
Yeah. So he goes there, and
of course, Eddie Brock walks in too.
At the same time, it's just coincidence. The same church in New York. There's got to be like 1 million churches in New York. You just happen to go to the same church.
I don't know. I was expecting that priest from Daredevil to pop up in here.
Right.
I was expecting him to show up here for some reason. Been watching too much Daredevil.
Well, Peter starts freaking trying to take the suit off, and Eddie Brock is begging God to kill Peter Parker. And I guess he gets his wish.
And the bell ring.
He hears a bell ring, and Peter screaming through the bell as, Peter's taking the suit off, and he finally gets the damn suit off, and he's naked. So I'm like, okay, well, now you got to figure out how to get back home naked. But we won't think about that.
It's all right, because now Peter has turned face.
He's back to being face. And Eddie Brock gets hit with the Venom suit, and now he's Venom. Cool. We're introducing a brand new character at the end of the movie. So, yeah. So Venom and I want to say Venom and Sandman, they team up. And I have to say that Venom looks really, really dumb.
Yeah.
You want to share, boy?
Well, I think it's worse. Venom looks dumb, okay, but it's worse when he takes the mask off and they show Eddie Brock's face, because it looks like pieces of gum sticking to his face.
Plus, the voice of Venom.
He's like, "Hey, Peter."
He sounds the same. Hey, Peter. It's like, no. Okay, look, we've seen the Venom movie. We even saw the Venom with Carnage movie in it. Okay.
See, it's funny is that I'm like, this Venom isn't so. When I watched the Venom movie, this Venom ain't so bad.
He's not so bad.
It's not so bad
compared to this one. That Venom is an Oscar-winning Venom.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning Venom.
Yeah, I'd rather just watch that Venom movie, honestly.
Yeah, just start the Venom movie from right there.
Yeah.
From right at that scene. But it's stupid. And plus, he's not 12 feet tall, which he should be. He's just barely taller than me. Okay. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't sound cool. It's just Topher Grace playing Venom, sounding stupid. I just can't stand it. I hate it. And, look, Sandman wants to kill Spider-Man for justified reason.
Yeah.
He just tried to kill me.
So I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Venom's like, well, you see, he broke my camera and I lost my job.
Yeah, that's my reason for wanting to get. And he took my girlfriend, who really wasn't even my girlfriend. We had coffee once. So I'm a little upset.
I'm a little mad.
Dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah, he even took the time to write in letters.
He went to go kidnap Mary Jane. She gets into a cab and he just fucking puts his hand over her mouth. So I guess that means she got kidnapped.
If you put a hand over someone's mouth, you get kidnapped.
You're kidnapped. Okay, so whatever. So Venom kidnaps Mary Jane, and Spidey goes to team up with Two-Face, and he says no.
Yep.
And later on, his butler tells Harry, "Hey, your father killed himself." And it's like, dude, 2 years you're sitting on this.
Well, I just thought you should know now.
Right now, when your face is all fucked up, I'm gonna let you know, hey, your dad killed himself. So I don't know why you're mad at Spider-Man this entire time. You could have told me this any point in time. Get out, you're fired. Get out of my house.
It's like, but man, I just, if I want to tell you now, I wasn't ready yet.
Fuck this guy. I hated this butler because of that shit. Fuck this guy. Seriously.
So what's funny to me is that when Spider-Man does arrive to fight them, I mean, they do cheer him, but like I remember throughout the movie, they kept saying he was a criminal. They saw him robbing banks, but all of a sudden they cheer him because he's wearing different colors.
Well, he wasn't robbing a bank. They remember Eddie Brock, had fucked up and lied and said that Spider-Man was robbing a bank.
Oh, okay.
So they come back and they start cheering him.
Hey, he really is a face.
Yeah, he really is a face because they cheered him. So
it was like an entrance too.
Yeah. So, like I say, Spidey goes to save Mary Jane, and he just gets his ass whipped. Venom comes in and beats his ass, and then Sandman comes in and also beats his ass.
See, what annoyed me is that Sandman could have just killed him right there, but instead he's like, "I'm gonna do some little love taps here."
Was it love taps? I mean, he grew to like 60 feet tall and then freaking hit him with that giant fist.
But he should have gone full force. Kill him.
He was going full force. How hard do you think Spider-Man is durable? Isn't he durable as fuck?
Well, he didn't pull his hand all the way back.
You're reaching on that one, boy. Because Spider-Man was fucking getting his ass handed to him, and he was gonna die. It's not like Sandman wasn't hitting him as hard as he could. He was hitting him. But like I say, Venom was instrumental in helping Sandman kick Spider-Man's ass.
Yeah, he put his little goo stuff around him.
Yeah. So then Harry Osborn turns face. And shows up and helps take out Sandman and Venom. So they fight Sandman and Venom together. It looks cool. And finally Harry gets to a point where he's able to take out Sandman, leaving Venom to kill Harry. Kill him. He's dead. Harry's been in all 3 of these movies, and 2 of the movies he had a great performance. In the 3rd movie,
he became Two-Face.
He became Two-Face and he died.
And then I said, "Oh, look, both Osborns were killed by their own glider."
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. And so Spider-Man gets pissed off and he kills Venom.
Yep. Hooray!
Hooray! That's what it looked like to me.
And that's exactly what happens. And he throws the thing at Venom, and Eddie's like, "No, not my Venom.
What are you doing?" And he dies too. And I'm
like, "Yeah, good.
I don't care." So
I guess Spider-Man has killed.
Yeah, he killed,
Eddie Brock.
We thought he killed, or he thought that he killed Sandman. He thought that he had killed Green Goblin.
But he
did kill Eddie Brock.
And Venom.
Yeah. I mean, that's on him. He did it. Eddie Brock would be alive today. He could have webbed Eddie Brock to the floor.
Nah.
Right?
See, the thing about them is they had a really big feud because he broke his camera. It's like when a face destroys a bad guy's vehicle. He destroyed his camera. So
yeah,
they had an intense feud over it.
They were upset. He was upset. So, whatever. Movie's over. I guess Harry gets his death scene and Sandman gets a redemption.
I like how Sandman's like, "I know I did all the evil stuff, but forgive me." And then he just disappears.
Like, all right, fine, I forgive you. And then he just disappears, and that's it. And Sandstorm, the last Sandstorm that we know of in New York, is over. So, did he save his daughter?
No. It looks like that Thanos snap, kind of, like in lower quality.
I guess. The goal for Sandman was to save his daughter. He failed. So he didn't need to really do anything. So the goal of Venom was what? To kill Spider-Man, and he failed, and so there's nothing there for that.
Yeah, Spider-Man killed him.
Yeah, and then Peter Parker, the only real change that I can see is that Harry Osborn died. Going forward, Harry Osborn is dead.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing else.
But I guess that doesn't really matter because it's the last one.
Yeah,
So it's like,
well, they did at the time, if I remember correctly, in the news, they didn't think this was the last one. They were planning on doing another one, and if I remember, it was going to be Vulture. It was going to be the bad guy.
Don't worry, they got him
later, much later. In
a different universe.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just this movie to me was just fucking. There's so much happening in this movie, and it's way too bloated for what they're trying to do. And I remember these kind of things happening when they were doing like Batman Returns, or not even Batman Returns, like Batman and Robin, where they had 5 big time characters.
Well, that's what makes it a good movie.
Adding characters. Look at all these characters on the screen. They're looking at you.
It's like you got Mr. Freeze in here, all these other characters. I mean, that's a good movie.
Yeah, more is better for some reason, but
see,
in this particular instance, it was not better.
See, they needed more villains.
They needed more villains. They needed to have more villains.
We should have had the Sinister Six in this movie. Then it would have been good.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they seem to be in the next Spider-Man movie coming out, but whatever. So, what they're trying to do here just means this movie ends up being really, really boring.
Boring and awful.
And of the Sam Raimi trilogy, for me, this is the worst one. And now I'm glad I never have to watch this again. I give it a 2.
Oh, well, I gave it a 1.
1? Yeah.
I hate it.
The action scenes are what gave me the 2.
Oh.
I enjoyed the action scenes.
The action scenes are what give it a 1.
The action scenes give it a 1 for you. Not the boring, bullshit that was in the middle of those action scenes. There was a lot of boring bullshit.
No, the action scenes are the only thing I like about this movie.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Okay. There's no way in hell you want to see Peter Parker crying again. Like, this is compelling story. If it was only more of this.
If only it was more of Peter Parker crying, then I would have really gotten some emotion. But it just wasn't there, so I can't like it.
Well, tell me how you really feel.
Well, I really feel that, like, it's fun to laugh at.
This movie?
Yeah, it's fun to laugh at. That's what I can say.
They had some issues here, boy.
Yeah.
And
it was funny.
It doesn't even break my heart. It just irritates me because I really, really had... The thing is that I saw this movie in theaters and I had really high hopes for this movie. Like, I was hyped. And it was the one movie that sat there and said, stop being hyped over movies. Because this one let me down real bad.
Oh, I don't know for me which one that was.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out that movie. There's plenty of movies you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got about this movie. So you gave it a 2. I gave it a 2. You gave it a 1. Now
our score combined together is 3.
No, well, if you add it, yeah, but the average would probably be 1.5. So
yeah, but added, it's 3, like Spider-Man 3.
Ugh. Ugh. Yuck. This movie was disgusting. Okay, and I'm really upset because I had high hopes for it when it came out, and I was let down really badly, and I just can't deal with it. So, fuck you, Spider-Man 3.
This is the movie where I'm like, this one never happened, but 1 and 2, those definitely happened.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's other Spider-Man movies. There's at least 5 more. So we'll get to those sooner or later.
Got through the first trilogy,
right? And the next episode will be available
when it's ready.